Today we are playing with the Lisa Eldridge Muse Eyeshadow Palettes. I do have all 5 of her newly released eyeshadow palettes, and I will link whatever reviews I already have up on my channel down below in the description box for you. But today we're putting the pink one, or the rose one, to the test, which is Muse. So if you haven't seen these videos before, what we do now is we go into the desk format. I do swatches and individual like hand swatches of each shade, and then we go and create a look together. So hopefully that sounds interesting to you. If it does, let's go ahead and do the YouTubey things. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and let's get into it. This is the Muse eyeshadow palette from Lisa Eldridge. I'm going to link all of my Lisa Eldridge eyeshadow palette reviews down below in the description box for you guys. I do have all 5. So just like all the others, sleek, beautiful gold packaging, has the palette name, shade formula, 24-month expiry, and you can pop these pans out to be customizable. £49, which depending on your currency and the exchange rate, I think in Australia at the moment it's about 90 Australian dollars. The description of this particular eyeshadow palette on Lisa's website is a harmonious assemblage of rosy hues. Muse is a painterly washed world of romance, from soft vintage pinks to warm plum brown tones that seamless blend together for a monochromatic look of rosy simplicity or dialed up for an intense sublime blush. So let's go ahead and do what we normally do. We'll swatch the palette on my arm, do individual hand swatches, and then we'll create a look. So let's get into it. So let's move on to the individual hand swatches. First up we have Tea Room, which is a velvet shade, and it is called a soft pink apricot. Really, you know, those kind of almost bone colors that they put in a palette, but it really does have a distinct apricot shade to it. Next up we have Vintage Mulberry, which is a velvet shade and is described as a deep plum brown. Very pretty. I think that my Muse palette might have come in a different order because all of the other palettes that when I've swatched them individually and read the name and the shade and everything off the website, they've all been in order, but this one's in a different order, so I'm not quite sure. If yours is in a different order to mine, let me know. Next up we have Taffeta Fan, which is a luster, and this is a delicate pearly champagne. Very pretty, kind of very standard. Again, it's kind of one of those shades that, you know, a lot of people like in a palette because it's good for an inner corner, it's good for an easy like lid metallic shade, goes with like most outfits, that kind of a thing. So I wouldn't say it's anything special, but also at the same time, usually a lot of people get a lot of use out of these shades. Next up we have Love in Venice, and this is a luminous shade and it's just described as a rose gold. I'm gonna start swatching here just because that's getting a bit red. Very pretty. So far Muse is swatching like a very soft everyday eyeshadow palette. So if you're someone that kind of almost likes to have just the barest of bare makeup looks, then you'll probably get a lot of use out of this one because it is a lot less pigmented apart from these shades than the other palettes I've swatched. Now we have Cherubim, I think. It's a velvet shade and it's described as a muted clay pink. I like this shade. This is quite different to anything I own. I mean, 50 Shades of Brown, but it's a different shade of brown. And lastly, we have Tomorrow's Party, which is a satin / metallic, and it's a burnished warm rose. So pretty. Again, Muse is swatching the metallics in here are just swatching a lot less vibrant than the other palettes. So just keep that in mind. I mean, we're going to put it to the test in a look and we'll see what that translates like to the eyes. But so far, I would say this palette is coming across a lot more muted in terms of metallic shades than the others. So in saying that, let's go ahead and create a look. Let's create this look. I have primed my lids already with the Viseart Eyeshadow Primer. I'm going to take this shade first, which is the shade Tea Room, and it's a velvet shade. All the matte shadows in this palette are velvets, so none of them are actually the seamless matte formula. This is a BKA 305 brush, and I'm just going to start by using this through the crease. I think it was, if I remember correctly, in Lisa's release video of these palettes, I believe she talked about how she likes wearing Tea Room all over the lid as like a day look, just like as a one and done, which I could totally see would be quite lovely. I'm leaving the house today, you guys. Normally, because I work from home, apart from going to the gym and grocery shopping and stuff, which my gym is at the grocery store, so normally I just do my groceries and stuff all at once there. I don't really leave my house a whole lot because I'm always working, right? And if I'm not working at my actual job, I'm working on YouTube. So, you know, I'm not off scurrying about a whole heap, let me tell you. But I'm actually leaving my house today. I am going to me and some of my best friends are having a girls' Christmas lunch, which is fun. We do it every year. We catch up and have a lunch because 2 of them now live down the Gold Coast and 2 of us live up in Brisbane. So we don't get to catch up as often as we would like, at least in person. So we're doing that today. So look at me go leaving the house. And then after that, actually, I'm going to my mum's. Me and Shane are going to mum's because she got a new puppy. I'll insert a picture right here because it's the cutest thing in the entire world. And I got to meet the puppy last week when I went down and went Christmas shopping with my mum, but Shane did not. So we're going to my mum's for dinner tonight, and she lives down the Gold Coast as well. Anyway, you probably don't care, but a little bit of tidbit for you. Now I'm going to pick up this shade right here, which is the one I cannot pronounce. Cherubin. Let's go with that. And it's a velvet shade as well. And this is a Refa 16. If you could hear that, that was my cat. My cats are chasing each other right now outside the room. I'm just going to work this through the crease as well. I just love how these blend. God, they're so easy. After using these mattes and then going back to like Natasha Denona even, I like struggle to do my eye makeup now because I'm like, but they're harder to blend. Just gonna pack this onto the outer corner. I feel like when you swatch this shade, it looks like a real warm tone brown, but she describes it as a muted clay pink, and when you put it on the eyes, I can really see that clay pink coming through. Now we're going to take tomorrow's part. No, see, mine is in the incorrect order. And now I'm not sure. I think this is Vintage Mulberry. Someone's put my little pans in here in the wrong order, and I noticed that. I mean, I think I talked about it in the hand swatches, so I don't know. Anyway, this is Vintage Mulberry that we're going into now. I will figure out the correct order and rearrange this palette. This is a BK A502 that I'm taking it on. I'm just gonna pack this a little bit into the outer corner. You don't need to do all these like kind of shadows. I just want to use as many as I can so that you guys can kind of see it. I really liked the Cinnabar look. I wore it to work too, and it was a hot day. Like it was over 30 degrees Celsius when I went to work and wore that Cinnabar palette. The Cinnabar review will already be up on my channel. And just an FYI, that eyeshadow looked impeccable. Like it stayed exactly how it looked at the end of that video to the very end of that day, and it was a long day for me that day. And the heat, like it was over 30 degrees Celsius, which I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. It was a hot day, and that makeup, well, the makeup got a little bit oily just because of how hot the day was, but that eyeshadow did not budge one little bit and did not crease on my hooded eyes at all. So I was very impressed with the Cinnabar palette, that's for sure. I think I'm gonna dip into this shadow right here. So this one is, I think this one is Tomorrow's Party. And this is a metallic. It's like a satin metallic. So I'm going to just take that on my finger because she says if you want the most pigment, use your finger, and if you want the least, then use a brush. And I used a brush with Cinnabar because I didn't want as much pigment, and I can vouch for that. But I do want a little bit more pigment today. Yeah, these ones aren't as like impactful as the other 3 palettes I've tried. I'm actually going to take the Intensify stick on the other eye, and I want to see how it applies with that, because I did actually want this to be a little bit more impactful. And the other shadows that I have used from her have been quite impactful, so I don't know what's going on with this one. Maybe it's just how she's designed it, I guess. Yeah, the Intensifies does make it a little bit more impactful, but not insanely. I mean, it's not bad. Like, it's not bad quality. It's just I probably would have liked that maybe to be just a little bit more impactful, if I'm honest, but that's okay. I'm gonna dip into this one, which is the Luminous shade. I think this is Love in Venice. I'm pretty sure, because the other one's a taffeta color, I think. I have these names wrong, I'm sorry. And I'm just going to tap this over the top. Yeah, that's pretty. Again, very soft and subtle. Nothing, like if you're just looking for a very soft, everyday, fuss free, easy, beginner, well, anyone friendly, but especially beginner friendly, like to put your eyeshadow on, even just like, you could put these mattes on with your fingers and they'll blend out. You can put the metallics on with your fingers, they'll be fine. Then this is the kind of palette for you. But if you want something quite impactful, you will not like this, do not get it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to go and smudge my Victoria Beckham Cocoa liner along the top lash line, just to give it a little bit more oomph to it. And then I am going to do the speed through on my base makeup, so you'll see that, and then we'll come back, do lower lash line and lips and all that kind of stuff together. So 2 seconds. Base makeup is done, and I put the Victoria Beckham Cocoa liner, I smudged across my top lash line and I tight lined with it, and then I put the Victoria Beckham eye brightener in the lower waterline. I put my Saie Mascara on, totally forgot I hadn't done lower lash line yet, so I put that on my lower lashes, but that's fine, we can still do lower lash line. And now you're all caught up. I'm just gonna run this muted, what's it called? Cherubim, I think is the name of it. I'll just run that underneath here. I might run a little bit of this one as well, the dark brown, or the whatever it is. Inner corner, we're gonna go in with this one right here, which I think is called Taffeta Fan, and it's a luster shade. Perfect inner corner shade. Perfect. I'm gonna use Lisa Eldridge Fawn as my lip liner. And then I think we'll just use Kitten Mischief as my lipstick. It's like a nude, but it also has like some pink rosy tones to it, so I think it'll work quite nice. Okay, let me go do my hair and then we'll come back and finish, and well, not finish the look is finished, but I'll show you like what it all looks like come together. You know what I mean? Okay, 2 seconds. This is the finished makeup look. What do you guys think? Very rosy, very pretty. I feel like, I'm not sure how it's translating to camera, but I feel like I look really pale in the monitor and I'm like taken aback by it, but we'll see, we'll see. I mean, I am the color of a piece of paper, so it doesn't really surprise me. But anyway, back to the eyeshadow. Also, by the way, I wear hair toppers if you're new around here, or wigs, because I suffer from hair loss. So if you're wondering where all this came from, It's not mine. Anyway, I have a video about it on my channel if you're interested. Okay, Muse. My least favorite so far. So far in my time, I have tried Sorcery, Vega, and Cinnabar and have fallen like truly head over heels in love with them. They're just insanely incredible to me. This one is my least favorite. I really like the mattes in here. They're beautiful. The mattes are just, the mattes out of these palettes are honestly the standout for me. I can't explain to you how incredible they are. They just blend themselves. It really is, it's just mesmerizing to me. The metallics in here have kind of let me down a little bit. In saying that, again, if you're not someone that wants that like wham bam, insanely pigmented, glittery, sparkly metallic shadows, then again, if you like this color story, you will love this because it is a very soft, beautiful, everyday wearable look. And like I've put this look together, I'm about to go to lunch with my girlfriends. Clearly, I feel like this is a very wearable, everyday friendly kind of look. So yeah, it's following along that theme of the Lisa palettes where it's a very everyday friendly eyeshadow palette. But the other three that I've tried so far have just had a little bit more oomph to them. So, but maybe you're looking for a little less oomph. In which case, this might be your girl. So now you know the deal. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. I am interested to see if you've picked this palette up and what you think, or is it on your wish list? And other than that, if you're watching till this point, you're an absolute legend. Thank you so, so much. I truly appreciate it. And I hope that you have the most amazing day wherever you are in the world. And I will see you next time. Bye.